You're listening to The Money Hour with your host, Tina Mitchell, and co-host, Keelan Harvey on Alternative Talk AM 1150. Now, back to the show with local mortgage experts, Tina Mitchell and Keelan Harvey.
And you are listening to The Money Hour on 1150 AM KKNW, the Friday, July 17th virtual show. Because of COVID, our show is temporarily moved virtually. You can listen to us on podcast or on air on Saturday at 3 p.m. with a rebroadcast on Sunday at 8 a.m. I am your host, Tina Mitchell.
And I'm your co-host, Keelan Harvey.
We bring in studio each week the best of the best experts in our local market regarding everything on your money. We're here to help you in today's economy. And now in studio, we have Tennyson Jacobson of Farmers Insurance, what you need to know about your insurance right here on 1150 AM KKNW. Tennyson, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much. And I think Vicki will have a fourth person because I've got questions for you too.
Boy, doesn't that tell you how much her services are in need and how much we love our pets? We're like, oh my gosh, yes, we need to talk to Vicki. So Vicki, put in the chat bar for all of us here right now in that website again. So at least internally, we've got that because you've got a lot of connections coming. All right, so a little bit about Tennyson. Tennyson is a farmer's insurance agent who has an office in Snoqualmie. Prior to getting into insurance, her and her husband were founders and operators of Cascade CrossFit for 8 years in Issaquah, where they built one of the better known CrossFit gyms in Washington State that was all about community and serving others. Tennyson brought her strengths and passions for taking care of people, educating clients, and being approachable to transition to insurance, which in 2 short years has brought her to be one of the top farmers agents in the state. Again, we bring in the best of the best here on the Money Hour. Her husband's a fireman for Kirkland Fire Department, and they have 2 young kids, Lila and Skylar.
Tennyson, I love your name, by the way. Being brought up as Keelan, you get used to everybody screwing it up. I just respond now like to Keegans, Keenans, anything that sounds like it. But now that I'm older, I love a unique name, and I'm sure you do too. Let's talk about your story a little bit. How did you become an insurance agent?
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, I totally relate on the unique name. It is its point. So when, I think when it comes to insurance, nobody is growing up thinking, I dream of becoming an insurance agent. So most people you'll talk to, they somehow found themselves there. So yeah, when my husband and I owned Cascade CrossFit, one of our members there, he ended up becoming our mentor, and he is a district manager for Farmers Insurance. So a lot of years he was our mentor helping us, and eventually he was like, you know what, we need a chat. You need to buy an agency, you need to do this. And I just thought, what the heck, insurance? I don't know. But yeah, long story short, it ended up being just such an awesome thing, and love it. So happy.
Well, as your mentor saw how successful you and your husband were, what you already accomplished, once successful in something, you're going to be successful in a new venture as well. So then why did you do insurance, and what do you love about it now, Tennyson? Because obviously you love it since you're in the top of your space.
Yeah, I honestly, when the opportunity came, I was like I said, insurance, I kind of saw it as this unethical thing for whatever reason. And so I just kept being like, I don't want to do that. But now hopping into it, I decided to dive in. And what I love about it, it's actually so similar to what we did with the gym. It's about educating people. It's about helping people. So I love having conversations about insurance. Like 9 out of 10 people I talk to have no idea what their insurance is. No, the person helping them has never explained it, or if it's a bigger company, they've never learned about their insurance. So I love having a unique, simple, moment where we can go through it, help educate them, and then really make sure they understand how it's protecting them, because it truly is one of the most important parts to protect your life, your home, your family. So I love that.
Yeah, Tennyson, when I was doing financial planning, I totally can relate to you on people's concept of things and their preconceived notions. I did life insurance and they're like, oh, death insurance. No, it's awful. But like foundationally, insurance is extremely important. You can't build a house unless you have a strong foundation. That was one of the things we used to talk about. And that's one of the first things you should do on top of emergency savings. Make sure that everything is insured. And guess what? They love life insurance, or they love insurance when tragedy strikes their house and they have that there for them. So it's a huge, very extremely valuable service that you help people with, and especially educating them, because people are like, oh, I need insurance. Great. How much is it? Cheapest insurance ever. And then you go through something and it's awful. So let's talk a little bit about who you actually work with. Who do you prefer to work with? Do you have a target market? Who is your typical client?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, being with farmers, we do everything, but I definitely tend to work more with like first-time home buyers. And reason being, they've never, most of them, you get your insurance when you're young, you get set up, and then you get it from a big company and you have no idea. And then you purchase a home and now we're establishing everything. So I really love those conversations with, first-time home buyers where it's like, okay, we're getting this set up, but also when you're purchasing a home, we need to look at your car insurance, because your car insurance actually protects your beautiful new asset. And so kind of looking at everything as a picture and then really establishing a baseline. So that's been really fun for me. Of course, help tons of people, but it's been a fun thing to have conversations, because those people tend to have, they've just never went through it before. So.
Yeah, that's what a great agent does, really look at the whole picture. So since Kayla and I, we do a lot of mortgages, which is working with homes, what is the most important thing regarding home insurance?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. So I think most people think they can just go get a quote. It's going to be the same, wherever. And there is going to be a lot of that. But there's a lot of things that aren't covered on home insurance that people have no idea. And so I think that's probably the biggest thing. Like being in our area, a lot of people have no idea that earthquake isn't going to be covered. Or if you have any like sewer backup, which is a nasty claim and happens more often than you can imagine, that's not going to be covered. So I think taking 30 minutes, 15 minutes to review with your agent, hey, am I covered for this? Am I not covered for this? Like, what are your biggest fears? And then making sure that's protected. And when I got into insurance, I took over an agency that had been around for a long time. And when we started really diving in and meeting with clients, a lot of them were really underinsured. So say, we're insuring their home for $200,000. Well, now it costs really $400,000 to rebuild it. That's a massive gap if you haven't taken a look at your insurance for a while. So I think that's also another thing is, are we really insuring it to its current value and needs?
I was going to say, it just goes to show you as a professional, you obviously care about people and making sure you're doing the right thing for them as far as coverage. I think one thing people kind of misunderstand is insurance is super cheap, like in the retrospect of what can happen in your life. So, for a couple extra bucks, especially home insurance, for a couple extra bucks, you can really cover yourself and, sleep well at night, knowing that you have adequate coverage, as opposed to I referred to the old head in the sand ostrich thing. You like, hear no evil, see no evil. And you guys got to be, eyes open and know what's going on in your world. May that be, retirement planning, your insurance and all that. So, moving on to auto insurance. I'm a car guy, love cars. What do you think is the biggest thing people don't know about car insurance or auto insurance?
Yeah. So again, people get their policies set up and they have no idea really how they're structured. And again, I don't blame that on them. I put that, it's not really your responsibility. It's my responsibility as your agent to help you understand that. But I would say most people, when we think about car insurance, you think, yeah, I've got full coverage. Full coverage meaning, if your car is actually damaged, that it's covered. My interpretation of full coverage is a bit different. So the main part of your auto policy is called liability. So if you cause an accident and you hurt somebody, heaven forbid the worst, you kill somebody, you can now, and probably will, be sued. You can have full coverage on your car as far as the car is, getting fixed. But if you have low limits, which again, I review insurance all the time. Obviously, most people do. I want you to be able to come to me in that situation and have complete peace of mind. Like, I know my limits, they're good. But unfortunately, most people don't really understand how that part of their policy works and the importance of it. So I think just understanding what full coverage means and, if you're really protected properly there.
Yeah, great advice, Tennyson. And as we're wrapping up our time with about a minute left, let's end it with misconceptions on life insurance.
Oh yeah, life insurance. Oh my gosh. Like Keelan said, it's just, I think people put it off because, it seems like a hassle. But when you're working with a lot of older people now, the one thing I hear time and time again is, oh, I wish I would have gotten life insurance. And so it's a lot less expensive than what people think. It's better to get it when you're young and healthy. Your health can change. I was working with a doctor a few months ago. He's in his mid-30s. A policy would have cost him maybe $30, $40 a month. He unfortunately got diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. You'd have no idea. And now he's looking at a policy that's going to cost him $300 to $400. So it's better when you're young and healthy to just get something set up. It's really not that much of a hassle. It's just, maybe an hour of your time to really remember it's for your family. It's not for you. It's for your family. And so, putting that on your to-do list and putting it at the top of your to-do list.
Yeah, great advice, Tennyson. And so for our listeners out there, call to action. Yeah, if you don't have life insurance, reach out to the show. We'll get connected with Tennyson. And for all of our guests, you can call the show 855-400-1150 or go online at themoneyhour.com for the amazing guests that we have. Thank you to each of you again for being here.
Thank you so much.
And I am your host, signing off for the day, Tina Mitchell.
And I'm your co-host, Keelan Harvey. If I could say that correctly.
We are your local.
That just came off weird.
Oh, this is going to sound good on radio this week around. We are your local mortgage expert signing off for the day. And yeah, make sure if you're laughing at the show today, stay focused on the road if you're listening to us on podcast while you're driving. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. We look forward to sharing more about money next week, same time, same place, right here at 1150 AM KKNW.